Okay, it's a little late on the Discovery thing, but it's been a weird past few days. Choose your pain. Is that directed at the characters or is that directed at the audience? I don't know. But as the graphic indicates, got a better title. Here's Mud in Your Eye. That's directed right at the fans. There's a few little leaps in logic here. The old thing of Captain on a shuttle being kidnapped. It's like, why is he away from Discovery? Or more direct point, why is Discovery not there at that starbase? What are they doing so damn important that they couldn't be there? It's like they're asking a bit much. It's like, why does he have to be on a shuttle? They got other ships there. Why is Discovery one of them? But of course, the story dictates that he must be captured. So the weak, typical weak excuse of the lazy writer. We go along and captured by what the computer identifies as a Klingon D7 battlecruiser. And I'm directing this at the writers of Discovery. If this comes across you, you can't just throw these terms around with no clue what they actually mean. D7? That's a D7. Okay? Has been since the 60s. That right there. That is a Klingon D7 battlecruiser. So, whoever is advising you people on these things, fire them immediately because either they don't know what you're talking about or you don't know what you're talking about. We just slap this thing on there. It's like the list of most decorated Starfleet captains. You mean nobody between Jonathan Archer and Robert April qualified as a decorated captain? Nobody in that entire 100-year span did anything? They were just a bunch of schlubs? Something that, the Trek Yards brought up. There should have been like a list, like 3 columns of like 20 names each. And you sprinkle the Easter eggs in there. Okay? That way you can have your Robert April, the Chris Pike, and Matt Decker, and also throw in staff members and just, pull names out of the phone book if you had to. But when you're just obviously doing the fan wank stuff, it's like it's barely acceptable with that list of, captains that Saru calls up. It's obviously you don't know what you're doing when you do stuff with like the D7 and you come up with that thing. It's like, so it doesn't bode well, okay? At the best, it looks incompetent, and at the worst, it's like you're just flaunting it. The same thing with the dropping the F-bomb. It's only because we can, because we're streaming. It didn't fit. It wasn't earned. It certainly didn't fit the character who did it. I mean, she's the kind that probably says still, golly willikers and that swelled, and she's suddenly going, awesome. What? It's like, no, I'm not offended. I'm good. No, I've been in the Air Force. I've spent time among true Vulgarians and held my own. Okay, so no, it's not appropriate to the scene. It's just flaunting. I mean, we're going to go for the full frontal nudity next. You can do that. It's TVMA. Limits are off. Streaming. And you want to do Game of Thrones? There you go. But moving on to Rainn Wilson as Harry Mudd. All right, his take on it wasn't necessarily bad. He seemed to have, most of it, but it's like, one, he's too short. You recall, Roger C. Carmel was well over 6 foot tall, probably in the 6'3", 6'4" range, maybe 6'5". I don't know. Depending on how big Shatner's lifts were that day, but he was very tall. Rainn Wilson is typical height. Okay, so what does he grow another 6 inches between now and first season, which is only at this rate less than 9.5 years, guys. Okay. And what happened to the English accent? Could Rainn Wilson not maintain an English accent for the episode? And also, the one quibble I got about his portrayal of Harry Mudd. Harry Mudd is really a used car salesman, He's a slick, con man type. He's not. This doesn't really fit him too well. It doesn't make sense for an origin story. Because, in fact, a while back there was a video that it was Stephen Fry was doing a Q&A to college somewhere, and they asked him the difference between British and American comedy, and he pointed out that British comedy really focuses more on personality types. You know, it's like you say, this character is a Captain Mannering. He's a Blackadder. He's a Del Boy. He's, that sort of thing. You get the rough sketch. Harry Mudd's a Del Boy. He is a Derek Trotter. He would, if he was one hopping galaxies, he'd be in the stall next to Derek, and he'd be hawking some hooky goods alongside him. You know, they'd both be involved in deals. You know, that's the kind of character Harry Mudd is, and also the way the writing. Who introduces himself, full name, first, middle, and then. Even in the original series, they didn't do that when he pointed by the computer. What's the first thing when it said your complete name for the record? Harry Mudd. And Harcourt Fenton Mudd. He had to be prodded to get the full name. And it's just lazy expositional writing, to make it clear. Yes, this is Harry Mudd. We have got the full name on it. Yeah, okay, thanks, guys. And, the rest of it, it's like, I guess it's improved, but it's a pretty low bar to begin with, so, you have nowhere to go but up. The solution to what to do with the man-pig bear, that was, yes, I'm adopting that term from Pop Quiz. That one, okay, And I should caution, granted, they put on a great rap, but I would say, if they're trying to set this up as it's been in the mirror universe all the time, consider that Enterprise established that the Terran Empire had been well established by the time of Archer's time, in the 2150s. So, really the roots of that you can trace back to when the first contact with Zefram Cochrane and the Vulcans, when instead of offering a handshake, he pulls out a shotgun and blows away that first Vulcan off the ship. So if they're going to try and turn around and say, this is where the Empire got... No. At the best, you're to say it's a mirror universe. I mean, you got one, why not several, We can lump the JJ verse in there too. It's a parallel universe, but it's not ours. It never was. I mean, that does cover all the discrepancies. The weirded out tech. Now they're far more advanced than even the next gen time. And that's all right. I still do think, I am one of the camps that the whole spore drive thing. You are basically telling the ship to use the Force, and firing up the infinite probability drive, without all the tedious mucking about in warp drive. Again, when Douglas Adams wrote that, it was a joke, and when Sternbeck included that little footnote in the warp scale in the writer's tech manual, it was a joke. It was not meant to be taken seriously. And when every time it was taken seriously, things go wrong. Threshold. Braga took it seriously and tried to make an episode out of it, and it turned out to be a complete disaster. Everyone's disowned it. Even Braga's disowned that one. So, I guess now that Lieutenant Stamets is, being a little less of a dickhead, he might be a little more tolerable, but it's still... You still got a crew that nobody likes each other. You got a captain that's very suspect. I mean, I can kind of respect the decision to go ahead and blow up the ship rather than let the crew get captured, but the thing is, the captain's to go down with the ship. I mean, what makes you so special, Gabe, that you had to get out, huh? I'll tell you, after we watched it, and there I went back and rewatched Orville's last one, Krill, and the mood is totally different. And they get pretty grim and dire in that one when the high priest is stabbing the severed head. But it's still a much different thing, much more uplifting, and just a better viewing experience. So, it's baby steps towards tolerability, but it's still a long ways from being accepted as Star Trek canon. I don't care what they say. They can declare all they want, but I think it's the audience going to have the final say whether or not this is accepted. And it's not going to the concordance. And if we're excluding JJ, then we're out, and Discovery's also out. So unless there's a cute level intervention here, and there's John Delancey does an uncredited promo, and says, okay, this has gone on long enough, and I don't see that happening because I don't think these guys even know about Q. And also, I don't know if John Delancey want to be anywhere near this thing, but anyway, PayPal, Patreon, down below, and thanks to some timely intervention, we're able to make it through for a while, and hopefully be able to get the bank to see sense come to 26 so we can really get out of this mess. But for now, we need every little dime that we can throw our ways, guys. Catch you later, everybody.